We're live. Hi.
Hi, audience. Sorry we're late. It's my fault.
Oh, no, not all your fault. I wouldn't say that.
So, Heather, you're looking very cute in your Star Trek outfit.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
So,
It's
I know the different ranks have different colors. So, where in the hierarchy on Star Trek does red fit in?
ooh, I am Red is a captain. Red is supposed to be a captain, I believe,
As in Captain Kirk?
as in Captain Kirk.
I thought he wore a yellow shirt.
He might have, but I think later on they changed it to yellow was engineering, I believe, right?
I don't know. Your Star Trek level is many levels above mine.
Well, I see Rocky in this chat here. I know Rocky would know the answer to this. Rocky colors: red, yellow, green, blue. I know blue is science and medical, and that was always my favorite. So, how are you doing? How's everything with you? What's new with you?
Oh, things are much the same with me. I
Yeah.
don't know if you can tell, I'm starting to grow out a little facial hair here.
It's looking nice. Give us the view. Nice.
Well, I think I'm going through that homeless looking phase right now. And it's also a very itchy phase. So, but I think I'm going to keep this going until this whole thing is over and
Yeah.
see how big it gets.
I don't blame you. That'll be really interesting to see you with a beard.
Yeah, I've never had a beard before.
Really? Never?
Well, I've had mustaches before, but then I couldn't grow a full beard. It was just like in places.
Okay.
And the last time I had a mustache was, I would say, like around 2005. So, yeah, we'll have to see
Okay.
what happens now.
15 years ago. Wow.
Rocky agrees with me that Captain Kirk wore yellow.
Well, thank you, Rocky. Much appreciate that.
Well, did I get you on a Star Trek piece of trivia? That is not easy to do.
Oh, I didn't realize we were doing trivia. Otherwise, I would have tried harder.
I always do trivia. I keep people on their toes
That's
24
true.
hours a day.
And
You know that's true.
every time we go to a restaurant, we're always asking the waitress trivia questions.
Yes.
Okay, do you know this? Okay, do you know this?
Yes. That's probably why we get lousy service.
I don't know. Some of them have fun with it. Some of them like it.
Yeah. I think most of them don't, though.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing that as often as I used to.
So we got a lot of people in the chat today. Anne, hey. Hi, Dane.
Hi, fans. Sorry we're late.
Hey, Mills. Good to see you. Mills says, what is my favorite Star Trek movie or series? And my favorite series is Deep Space Nine. My favorite movie, I just saw the one with the Borg Queen. That was pretty good. And Data and the Borg Queen getting it on. Did you know that happened? I really like that movie. Yeah. So, how about you?
I just don't know that much about Star Trek, to be perfectly honest with you. So, yeah, no comment on that one. I did watch the original series, but I never watched anything after that.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
Mhm.
So I heard, well, I don't know. I don't know if this is true or not. Did you see a donkey show in Mexico?
Oh, I'm glad you got my questions. So, yes, audience, I just got a new computer, something that has been on my to-do list for years because my old computer was just always crashing and just behaving very badly. So I finally got my new computer and I'm gradually installing my new software on it, and I can't get my computer to work on it. So I had to send Heather my questions because I was too lazy to write them out by hand. So one of them, I think D. Rich asked, as you just said, did I see the donkey show in Mexico? So no, I did not. And furthermore, I believe this is an urban legend. I think it's like a trick people play to each other. Like if they say, oh, I'm going to Tijuana, they'll go, oh, you got to see the donkey show. And Heather, do you know what supposedly happens at the donkey show?
A parade of donkeys?
No, it's too socially inappropriate to say on YouTube.
Is it a sex act?
Now you're starting to say it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
But no, I think it's an urban legend. I think it's just a way to trick people because you go there and there just is no donkey show. It just is a myth. However, some people say that like in the 50s, they did have donkey shows, but no one really knows, not too many people can remember. Much like some people say that you used to be able to play Solitaire as a table game in Las Vegas.
Uh-huh.
And I have asked a lot of old timers about this, and none of them claim to have seen it.
I heard that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any good credible evidence of it, or just
no good credible evidence? The only good credible evidence I have is I thought I saw something where a new table game inventor was doing a game that was similar to Solitaire.
Yeah, but not the traditional Klondike type.
No, and I think it was at G2E or something.
Okay. Well, any questions from the audience?
Well, Rocky in the chat says, "Don't Google it. Whatever you do." So that's really good advice.
I did see kind of a I don't know what adjective to use, but a very adult-oriented show in Costa Rica. That
show?
A what show?
A burlesque show?
No, I said what adjective did I use?
Adult-oriented.
Yeah, adult-oriented. Yeah, they had a lot of nudity in it, and they got volunteers from the audience, and there was one guy who was there as for a birthday, and his friends cajoled him to go up, and they were did some very physical things to him that looked very painful. But that's all I can remember about it. But yeah, it was a kind of a dark show. Like
BDSM or something?
Gosh, I know that these girls were spanking him, and I think there were sharp objects involved, and yeah, I kind of didn't want to remember it, so I don't have that many details.
If people want to be spanked, they could just go to the brewing house across the street from the Hard Rock.
Yeah, the Hofbrau house. No, this was totally different. This was, you could tell the guy was in serious pain. It was, I think, it's just kind of like a rite of passage that people might go through in Costa Rica when they have a birthday. I don't know, but
goodness. Okay.
That's about all I can say about that.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So I have one question on here. Dane says, which has better odds, blackjack or baccarat?
Most of the time, blackjack does.
Yeah.
In fact, it's funny he asks that because just right before the show, I published a page on the 13 best bets in the casino, and blackjack is number 1, and baccarat, I think, is number 4. So the house edge on the banker bet in baccarat, which is as good as it gets, is 1.06%. And in blackjack, as long as a blackjack pays 3-2, the house edge is going to be anywhere from about 0.2% to 0.8%. Okay. So even at its worst, at 0.8%, it's better than baccarat.
Okay, cool. And then we have some more questions. One person asked if they got your message. I don't know if you see that in the chats. Another person, Joey, says, do you think that they will bring back the Jubilee show at Bally's?
Probably not.
No.
Yeah, I think it's just too dated, and I don't know. Obviously it financially didn't do well, nor did Folies Bergère. So I think that those have just gone the way of the dodo bird. So yeah, I doubt it. But tangentially, if you're ever in Paris, I highly recommend seeing one of those types of shows there. I've only seen the Moulin Rouge show, which was fantastic. It was much better than Folies Bergère or what was the other one?
The
Jubilee. Yeah, it was much better. So if you're ever in Paris, you got to see that. Highly
Awesome.
recommended.
And then I have another question. Jason, he said, do you know when Vegas will open back up?
Well, my guess is as good as anybody's. And I think it would be easy for me to say that it's going to be a gradual process. I think that casinos on the Strip will probably open gradually. For example, you know that two big companies control most of the Strip. So if you look at MGM, for example, maybe they will open just one at first, just to test the waters. And I think when they open that one, I think I could see them only turning on half the slot machines. And if they do table games at all, it'll probably be just 2 or 3 people at a table.
Yeah.
So, but if that goes well, I could see them gradually opening up more and more.
Okay.
And you might ask, when do I think the first one will open? I know on Travelocity, when I checked about a week ago, some casinos were taking reservations starting May 1st. I could see that getting pushed back a little bit. But I think that in May is going to be when we gradually, as a whole country, start to come out of this.
Okay.
Just my prediction.
Cool.
But what do I know?
I got another question from Gillamere. I think I said that right, I believe. He says, when Vegas casinos reopen, how quickly do you assume that they will return to having new field game trials to review?
I think it could be a while. I think the casinos are going to have a lot more important things to think about before they start
What about
messing around with field trial games.
What about the games that are already in field trial? I feel sort of bad for those games that were during their 90-day field trial when all of this happened and the closures happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be only fair that they get to their field trial if the casino wants to.
Yeah,
but yeah, we'll just
might not want to.
Yeah, that's possible. So we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, no, I predict that we'll probably have to wait until the fall to see a new field trial start.
Yeah. So another question from the audience. Clint says, how much can a creator of a new game like Hex hope to make?
Yeah, both of us could talk about this all day long. Well, you could look at someone like Jeff Hall, who invented all the Push 22 games like Blackjack Switch and Free Bet Blackjack. And he did very well. I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but he sold all his games for a lump sum. And it was a big lump sum. I think he won't mind me saying it was well into the 7 figures.
But that's not normal, right? Like normally,
right, that is not normal. Most people who
when they sell their game, it's more like 10,000, and it's more like a slap in the face because of all the money and time they spent on it.
Most people will never even get 10,000. Here's what happens with most people that really give it the old college try is they pay a mathematician to help with the math, and then a patent attorney to help with with at least a patent pending, trademarks. You got to get tablecloths, rule cards,
marketing. That's where I come in.
That's where Heather comes in. Highly recommended. So you'll never find a better marketer. She'll try really hard for you.
Thank you. And you still have to get the math of BMM and everything. You still have to do
the math twice. You have to do it once from someone like me, and then you got to pay for the whole thing again with GLI or BMM. And you might say, well, why don't I just go to GLI to begin with? It's because you have to hand GLI exactly the rules. And if they come back and say the player has a 5% advantage and you go back and correct it, you're going to have to start over at square one with them. Whereas if you hire someone like me, I will work with you to get the rules to to be a polished gem. Right. You will get a great game if you work through me.
And that's a good point too. So if something happens and you have to tweak the rules a little bit because the house edge is 16% and you want it to be 4%, you would have to tweak those rules, and you would do that. That's a really good point. Yep.
And GLI and BMM will not do that. They just do the math. They don't give advice. So that's just the way it is. And what else? And you're going to probably have to bring the game to either the Global Gaming Expo or Cutting Edge. Of the two, I recommend Cutting Edge. And I think I think that with no connections, to go from the cocktail napkin to a field trial is going to cost you about $25,000. And the chances,
It's more than that.
I don't dispute that. It can be 50 or more.
Yeah. It's typically about 100,000 to get your game into a casino, like on the casino floor. And the reason why it's so much, you're right with the $25,000 mark, but what you're not taking into account is version 2 and version 3 and version 4 and version 5, which a lot of these games have to go through. You know, once you start marketing your game to a casino manager, a lot of casino managers come back and they're like, this needs to change, or we want this instead of that. And you have to go back and you have to do a different version. And all of that marketing you have to do over again. Everything you have to do over again. And that's where the money builds up.
That's true. And a lot of times most of the time the field trial does not go so well. And the casino that field trialed it does not keep it, which they're allowed to do. And then lots of times the game inventor, him or herself, will still be so enamored with their own game that they will think that they need to tweak the rules a little bit. And sometimes it is true that the rules were bad, but lots of times, especially if you work through me, if I may toot my own horn, the rules were fine to begin with. Players just didn't like the game, or the casino put lousy dealers on it and just didn't support it properly.
Yeah.
But lots of times the players should just give up if the field trial did not go well. Usually they don't, and just keep throwing more good money after bad. So but I would say that most people that even get to a field trial, the percentage that actually break even with all the expenses is really low, like maybe 5%.
1%.
Yeah, it's a total famine business.
Yeah.
Really, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't recommend it for anybody.
I recommend it for people and use my. I'm sorry.
Well, that's just my opinion. I know it's not what you want to hear.
But yeah, so typically it's between 1% and 5% that actually get their game. It's 5% about that get their game in a casino, but 1% that actually make it in the industry where they, for example, high card flush or 3-card poker or ultimate Texas Hold'em. That would be the 1%.
Yeah, and I know the guy who invented high card flush as well as crisscross poker. And I don't know how well he did with it, but those high card flush is a really successful game, but yet I think he is still dealing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But lots of times what people do is they will enter into an agreement with a company like Shufflemaster or Galaxy, and then they're only going to get like a small percentage of any royalties. And so lots of times by the time their share of the royalties, despite all these placements, is not that big, and they still have to keep working. Yeah,
it's not very much. I feel bad for some of them who go that route.
Yeah, but we could talk about this all day.
Yes, we could.
But on Wizard of Odds, there's a place called the Game Inventors Corner that has a whole bunch of advice and videos, articles about this business. So I will do that for more information.
Awesome. We have another question. This one's an easy one. Wolfgar says, are they still working on the Raiders Stadium in Vegas, or has construction been halted?
No, they're still working on it. I rode my bike past it I did a video where I was riding my bike around Vegas. No, they're still going full steam. I think it's supposed to be, everyone is planning on it to be ready for the 2020 football season. However, I think who knows if that's even going to happen with how things are going.
Isn't that something to be building a stadium that holds all of those people, and then all of a sudden a pandemic happens and nobody wants to be around any people? Like, what a thing to be in that position.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I would hate to be, well, I'm not sure, but I bet the investors in that stadium, well, actually, it's the state of Nevada that mainly paid for that
really?
stadium.
The state of Nevada is the investor.
Yeah, so it's us taxpayers that are going to foot the bill if that doesn't go well.
That stinks.
What can I say? It is what it is.
So we got another question for you. Gillamere says, when your kids reach the age of 21, will you be able to teach them how to correctly play casino games, or will you be advising them not to gamble?
One of them already did, and
one of them's 21.
Yeah, one of them's 22, the older daughter.
Oh my God, time goes by so fast. I remember when they were all under 18.
Yeah, so when she was 19 or 20, we went to Aruba, where the gambling age is 18. So I introduced her to casino gambling there. And then she turned 21 here, and we played some more in Reno. To be perfectly honest, we played in Reno before she was 21. And being a girl, they didn't question her about her age as much as a guy would get questioned. So I think that she enjoyed the novelty of it, but she didn't catch the gambling bug or gene like I did. And then my son just turned 18 in February, and he had his heart set on going to the Morongo Casino for spring break because he would be 18 and the gambling age there is 18. But yeah, you know what happened. So despite being of legal age in many casinos, they're all shut down.
Dang.
But once things reopen, that'll be a fun trip to take him there.
Yeah, that will be pretty cool.
Yep.
Another question is, Dane says, have you ever been to Wahlburgers near Bally's?
I've been to the Wahlburgers in Cleveland and Boston. And yeah, I like it. I don't think that it's any order of magnitude better than, say, something like Smash Burger, but it's good. But no, I have not been to the one at Bally's yet.
Okay.
But they're probably all more or less the same.
Probably. FWTX says, any chance casinos will waive resort fees to get customers back?
Weren't we asked that before?
We're normally asked the same question multiple times.
Yeah. I think that they should. I hate to hazard a prediction on that, but I think business is going to come back really slowly here in Vegas. You would think everyone would be really itchy to take a vacation and do something fun, but the coronavirus is not going to just suddenly end. It's going to taper off, and if we don't taper off, we're going to, have a new spike. So, but yeah, it would be nice to see them getting rid of resort fees to make a show of welcoming people back.
I agree. Now, this next question is from Bubble Craps, and I don't necessarily understand, so I hope you understand this. Have you seen a slot machine where the players can move one tile to a space next to its original position, EX an array of 3 switch positions, 1-1 or 1-2, so they are now swapped?
No.
Okay. I've only seen that on an arcade game, but it was like a video game. It wasn't a slot machine.
Yeah, it sounds like he's talking about something like, those 4x4 puzzles where you have the 1 to 15, where you have numbers 1 to 15 and there's a blank square and you have to slide them around to get them in order.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm allowed to say, but I know someone who has conceived a similar idea.
Are they doing anything with it?
I probably shouldn't talk about it. I think I'm under...
But it's not in a casino right now.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one's an easy one. Joey501 says, have either of you been in a casino?
Certainly lots of times.
I love that question. Okay, I love easy questions. So yes, definitely. Next question is
Heather used to work in them.
I used to, yeah.
Yeah.
I like not working in them anymore. It's nice.
Yeah. By the way, how has your week been, Heather, since the last last live chat?
It's been good. It's been really good. We're getting work done. We still have a couple customers who paid up front, so we're getting all of their work done during this time. I started watercolors. I wanted to do a new hobby. Everyone's trying a new hobby, so I haven't painted with watercolors before, so I'm painting with watercolors.
What piece are you working on right now?
I'm learning how to use them. I'm not working on a piece. I'm making a lot of mistakes and I'm learning how to use them, but it's fun. It's really, really fun.
Can I show the audience some of your paintings, which I have here in my office?
Sure. Which ones?
Okay. There's the Wonder Woman one and the one you once gave me for my birthday with gambling equipment.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah,
okay,
sure.
Hold on, audience.
So anyone who doesn't know what's going on, for I think his birthday and Christmas, I gave him 2 gifts where I painted him something. One of them was a Wonder Woman painting, and the other one, I think it was just like a doodle. It was like a casino doodle in a way, abstract kind of.
Hey, audience.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah, so that's the abstract one. That was the one where I was just messing around doing all sorts of like casino stuff and everything. And they're made from acrylic. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe Heather gave this to me for my birthday.
Yes.
Quite a while ago, like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Now, I thought abstract art was stuff more like Jackson Pollock.
Well, put it back up. That's totally abstract. Like I mean, it is Pollock, but look at that. It's not sitting on anything. There's no hands. It's just a bunch of like casino stuff all thrown together with a green background. Like that is totally abstract. That is not a normal. That's not still life.
Skill to draw like this roulette wheel with like the numbers in that correct font.
It's more like a doodle.
And these chips are all really well done, where Jackson Pollock is just splattering paint on the canvas.
That's called something else. I can't remember what that's called. Crap? Something. But it's called something else.
I don't know. I thought it was abstract, but art is not my I like art, but I'm not up to date on the terminology. And here's the other one.
And this is wonderful. Yeah, Wonder Woman. Woo! Yep. So I did that for Christmas, and that took a while. Like you kept asking me for that. And I think you were asking me for that for like a year or something. And then finally I'm like, okay, I'll just sit down and I'll paint it. So I just sat down and I painted it for you for Christmas.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Love this one. Yes, it's, let me show the audience a bigger version. Yeah. She has a couple of very nice features.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So yes, Heather is a great artist.
Thank you. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing. So hopefully I'll be able to show you some of my stuff when I actually have something I could show you.
Okay. How many times did you get out of your house or, where you live much in the last week?
Well,
other than walking Pip.
Okay. In that case, one time.
And where did you go?
I had to go to the bank.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted something delivered and yeah.
Okay.
How about you?
Oh, I exercise every day. So I usually unicycle, rollerblading. I'm trying to think if I did any shopping.
No. I'm just getting I'm getting all of my groceries delivered to me. I'm doing Instacart and I'm doing Freshly. So Freshly does my meals so I don't have to cook. And then the Instacart gives me all my snacks and everything.
Cool.
So, yep. And then me and Pip, we're walking in the morning so we don't meet anyone and we're not walking in the afternoons anymore. Because there's too many people outside. I don't know about your neighborhood. But my neighborhood, everyone's going out and everyone's like doing barbecues and the kids are playing together and everyone's in a group like it's, spring break. And I'm like, you people are crazy. I'm inside and I'm like hunkering down.
No, I will get cabin fever.
Yeah.
If I have to stay in here. You know me, I love outdoor sports. So.
But none of the parks are open. The national park's not open. Normal parks aren't open. Hiking trails aren't open.
All the normal parks are open.
Really? I could go to Red Rock?
I don't refer to that as a normal park. I mean like a park with tennis courts and grass.
Oh, they are open. I was told they were closed.
It's only the playgrounds where like the kids play that will have police tape around it. And They closed the basketball courts, and they did that, I think, by taking off the hoops.
Oh,
And
okay.
I think that our governor Steve Sisolak said that he was closing the tennis courts, but fortunately, and don't tell anyone this, but the pickleball courts at the Bruce Briery Park are still open. So please don't
Oh,
close those.
okay.
Because, and maybe I shouldn't, but me and my pickleball friends played there on Sunday.
Well, reeling this back in because we sort of got off topic for a while there. We have another question from a viewer. Alex83 says, how much do you think the payout percentage on slot machines is going to change after all of this? For example, on the Strip in downtown.
There's a whole thread about this on my forum. I don't think it's going to change. The way slot directors tend to think is, do I have a compelling reason to change anything?
That's true.
Yeah, and if they don't, they're not going to. So, if anything, they might go down, because what if there's only a small number of casinos that are open on the Strip? They may think, oh, there's not much competition. I may as well, get more blood or meat off of each sheep that walks through the doors.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, but I tend to think it's not going to change.
Especially if they're going to only have 3 people to a blackjack table, or if they're going to have to take out every other slot machine so all the slot machines aren't crammed together. I agree with you. They're going to try to make the money back some way. We got another question for you, and this one again is from Gillamere, and I really hope I'm saying his name correctly. He says, in your website's sportsbook section, you discuss some statistical wagering differences between home and road teams. What do you think will happen if games are played in empty arenas and stadiums, or at neutral locations like Arizona spring training fields?
That's a good one. I think that there will no longer be a home field advantage. It would be interesting to think, will the dynamic of the games change if there's no audience? And I tend to think the answer is no. I tend to think that you're going to still see the same, like, average number of points and the strategy of the game. And the reason I think that is, it's supposed to be professionals that play these games that are able to block out audience distraction. So, yeah, I think that if you're watching the games on TV, I think it'll be much the same.
Got it. Cool. Next question is from Keen One, and he says, what gaming activity do you enjoy the most?
I like Pai Gow tiles, and I also like Ultimate Texas Hold'em, Blackjack. I like sports betting, video poker. So yeah, those are my favorites.
Cool.
If you were forced to gamble, Heather, what would you play?
Pai Gow poker or Pai Gow tiles? I'm really enjoying Pai Gow tiles.
Yes. And who's your favorite teacher?
Well, you, of course.
Thank you.
Of course. So our next question is from the same person, and he says, what is your top 5 best things about living in Las Vegas?
Well, I should have prepared a list. I really like the weather here. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, it is hot in the summer, but right now the weather is just fantastic. And so the weather, I think, is pretty good. I definitely like it more here than in Baltimore. There's a lot of outdoorsy stuff to do. I can be climbing a mountain in 15 minutes if I wanted to. So, and of course, if you're ever in a gambling mood, there's casinos right there. In the gaming business, it's a convenient place to be. I'm from Southern California, so it's not far for me to visit my friends and family there. And it's pretty cheap to fly anywhere and pretty convenient because everybody wants to fly to Vegas, which makes it convenient for us locals to leave Vegas. So. Yep. What are your thoughts?
Well, I want to follow up on that real quick. you talk about being able to go hiking right outside your door. That made me think of, have you been to Little Red Rock?
What is Little Red Rock?
Oh my God, you haven't been to Little Red Rock. I got to take you there. It's not in Red Rock. It's not in the national park. If you go, and I'll tell you exactly where it is, but it's basically you go to a neighborhood, you park your car where they're doing construction, and then you walk about an hour out to it, and it's literally Little Red Rock. It's like a little Red Rock type area, and it's really interesting. It's really cool to go visit. I have fun hiking there. When things start opening up and we can actually like not social distance anymore, I got to take you there. I got to show that to you.
Might you park at the west end of Lake Mead Boulevard if you wanted to get there?
No, it's further down. It's more close. It's more close to your area.
Well, that is close to my area.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's literally down the street.
All right. Well, I can say that if you were to take either Lake Mead Boulevard or the Summerlin Parkway all the way to the end and then park, you will see construction equipment and stuff like that. And there may be some signage that says no trespassing, but people trespass all the time. And you will have to walk for about an hour through the desert. And then you'll get to these small sandstone red rock formations, which are great. And,
I think that's it.
Yeah,
because it's right.
About the same thing.
Okay, good.
On my 50th birthday, one of my brothers was visiting, and I took him out there. We rode mountain bikes to get there, and I saw a Gila monster.
Oh, cool.
That is still the only time I've ever seen a Gila monster in the wild, and that it happened on my 50th birthday, I think is super cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, we will have to do that.
I would love that. That'd be awesome. Next question is, what are your thoughts on UK casinos? And that is from Joey.
I've been to some of them in London. Some of them are like around, what's it called, Piccadilly Circus. Mm-hmm. Some of them are kind of big, like maybe 20 table games. They're definitely a little more subdued than Vegas casinos, but but they're good. I like them. I've been to one. There's a mall that's close to the like their big event center where they have the ice show. I forgot the name of it, but there's a mall there that has a casino, and I've been to, I think, one called Asper's. So there are some casinos that are meant for the common man, and the service is pretty nice, and I don't think they have free drinks, and it's kind of quiet, but they're nice. And then they also have some really kind of snooty ones where you need to be a member to get in, although anyone can be a member. And those are more, for serious gamblers that just want to gamble. So yeah, all things considered, I like them more than the casinos in mainland Europe. In countries like Spain and Germany and the Netherlands, there's usually just one casino per big city. And you have that problem of that casino kind of abusing a monopoly where, it's just like a warehouse of games and they're not that fun.
Okay, cool. So before we answer the next question, can you do me a favor and hold your mic closer to your...
Oh, I forgot about that after I got your paintings. Sorry.
It's okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So the next question is from Keen One, and he says, which one of these future Vegas attractions are you looking forward to visiting? The Raiders Stadium, MSG Sphere, Resort World, Circa, Virgin Hotels, or anything else?
I'm happy to visit any new casino. I would list them all about equal. The Resorts World is obviously going to be like a huge big thing, like the Wynn. Yeah. So I kind of look forward to that. The Circa, that's built by Derek Stevens, who owns the D and the Golden Gate. I like him, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with that. And as far as the Raiders Stadium, Social
distancing.
Yeah, number one, there's that issue, and tickets are going to be really expensive. I tend to think that a lousy seat is going to cost $300-400. Um, I never, I have never developed any kind of a liking for the Raiders, and it's going to be hard for me to get on that bandwagon. I'm sure I eventually will, but I'm still kind of angry about the state subsidizing that whole thing. I think that should be a private sector thing, and the government should stay out of it.
So I got a question about that. If we are subsidizing it as taxpayers, when people are paying these $300 tickets, are we getting that money?
Nope.
Well, why do they get to profit, but we have to pay for it?
Okay, the argument that the state would give is that when tourists come here that they might be lured here to see a football game, and while they're here, they would spend all this other money, and the state would get tax revenue from that money. And we probably do get some tax revenue from the sale of tickets, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere, close to what the owners of the Raiders get. And I also have to admit that when the previous place where I lived was Baltimore, and we had the exact same issue there, where we desperately wanted a football team. And as I understand it correctly, and I'm not an expert, basically the state of Maryland paid for the whole stadium, and they leased out the stadium to the Raiders for a price of $1 per game. So yeah, I'm not big on, like I said, the government subsidizing the private sector. And how often do you see them subsidize the little guy?
Right. Why can't I go up to them and say, hey, give me $50 million or $1 billion so I could build this thing, and then, hey, I get to keep all the profits because I'm bringing people here.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I could go on.
And was there anything I missed? Oh yeah, I had to look up the MSG, whatever. I thought that was going to be something to do with Chinese food, but that's going to be some big spherical concert venue by the Venetian.
That one.
With like a big LED.
Isn't Wynn building it?
No, the Venetian is.
Oh, the Venetian's building it.
So,
okay.
I mean, just based on their website, it looks like it's going to be pretty interesting. So, but that's about all I know about that.
Okay. Next question is from Wolfgar, and I just noticed something on this little program that we're using that I want to give it a try. So I hope you don't mind if I try this on live TV or live streaming. Wolfgar says, do they have Sic Bo in Vegas? I've never seen it and weren't sure if either of you were familiar with the game. I don't know. I think I like that. Isn't that pretty cool?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So Sic Bo, I believe they have that at, I think the only place is the New York. They used to have it at the Palace Station, but I think they took it out. Can you confirm or deny?
I just did the casino surveys where I went to all the casinos, and I don't remember writing down Sic Bo for any of them.
Who knows? Maybe the New York took it out too. Maybe. No, wait. They have Chuck-a-Luck.
Okay.
So, yeah. So scratch that about the New York.
Okay.
That said, I can't think of a single placement anymore.
Yeah, I don't think they have one.
Yeah, it's huge in Macau, though.
Next question is from Buns. Hey, Buns.
Hey, Buns.
So Buns says, how long do you spend preparing a strategy for a game before you play, including planning and when to walk away?
Well, to answer the last part first, I don't put a big emphasis on money management. I'll walk away when I'm not having fun anymore. Mm-hmm. And I will prepare a strategy until I can play properly. Like I did, it took probably years to develop a pie gout strategy because there was nothing about it written in English about the game before I took an interest. Now I will say though, an exception is, let's say there's a field trial game. I may just sit down there and fly by the seat of my pants for 15 minutes just to get a feel for a game and be able to write a better article about it.
Yeah,
But no, I like to know what I'm doing at the tables, as should everybody.
that sounds pretty good. So one of your forum people, I think it's D Rich, he says, do you anticipate living in Las Vegas forever, or do you see yourself retiring somewhere else?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm kind of hoping to buy my mother's house in Orange
Oh,
County.
that's cool.
No, but I'm happy here. So yeah, short answer is I don't know.
Okay. Now, going back to our chat, the next one is from Mia. And Mia says, are you still going to bet the safety in the Super Bowl?
Oh, I bet the no safety. Absolutely. Every
Yeah.
time. It would be against my mathology religion to not bet that.
Okay.
So, yep.
And another easy one from Mia. Do you like bowling?
I neither like nor dislike bowling. I probably only bowl once or twice a year. I'm not that good at it. Probably my average score is maybe 120. So, I'd like it if I have a good group of people to go with, which I never do. But would you ever see me bowling by myself? No, just never. How about you, Heather?
Social distancing. I can't do it.
What if that were not an issue?
I'm a horrible bowler. I'll go and I'll have fun with friends, but if you want to win, don't have me on your team. Just saying.
Okay. Now, I know it was very important that we answer a question from Anne. She asks, did I get on what's it called? The Tiger. What's that TV show about tigers?
Oh, I have it.
Tiger King, is that it?
Yeah, Tiger King bandwagon. Have you jumped on the Tiger King bandwagon?
I have seen the first 2 or 3 episodes. I was kind of dragged into it a little bit because
By
I've
who?
heard so much about it, and other people and Mrs. Wizard likes
Gotcha.
it.
Awesome.
But I personally am not. I'm personally not that crazy about the show. I think it's kind of depressing how they treat the lions, and I don't know. What can I say? Shows like that are not my cup of tea. I think it's a lot better than most reality shows like the Real Housewives. It's many levels better than that. But I would say it's good, but not great.
Cool.
Have you seen it?
No, I'm not watching it.
All right.
Yeah. B Buns has a question. He has they have a statement and then a question. Question is, has anyone ever propositioned you to participate to cheat, and how did you handle that?
Not really. I would say that I can't remember details, but sometimes people will ask if I want to participate, maybe financially, in some kind of play that I think crosses the line between advantage play and cheating, and I will say no. But never anything that was like totally outright cheating. Never even been asked.
Yeah, I have.
How about you? Oh, and
I was like, no, I don't want to go to jail. I'm good. I like my apartment. I don't need like a little 5x5 cell. Yeah, no, I was just like, no. And then I haven't talked to the guy since. He's
good for you.
Avoiding me. Yeah.
Good for you.
So we have another question. Mia says, did you watch Love is Blind? And could you make a bet on who would get married?
Didn't watch it.
I haven't either. I've heard a lot about it.
Nope. Next question.
We got a really nice comment from Derek, who says, thank you for your videos and be safe. So thank you, Derek.
Thanks, Derek. You too.
Next question is also from Derek. And he says, do you think the glory days of Vegas are better than the current times? I feel it was much classier. People dressed up and it was much more of a formal event.
I can't even remember going back that far. I turned 21 in 1986. And I I liked things better back then than I did now. The gaming rules were much better, and being that Vegas and Atlantic City had a monopoly on gambling, it was I think more fun. It felt like you were being bad a little bit, which made it feel more fun. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm just kind of bored with gambling now.
Yeah, I don't blame you, actually. I feel sort of the same way you do.
Mm-hmm.
We have another question from Anne. How do the odds in regular 5% commission baccarat compare to commission-free baccarat?
The answer to that can be found in my book.
Ooh.
In Easy Baccarat, where a 3-card banker total of 7 pays is a push, that the banker has I think a house edge of just like 1.01%, which is less than the 1.06% in conventional baccarat. But in Nepal baccarat, where a winning banker total of 6 pays 1 to 2, it's higher. I think it's about 1.43%.
Another thing to think about when you're talking about that is, even though, like, okay, when dealers are dealing and they have to do the 5% commission, it takes them time. If you take that 5% commission out, the dealers are doing more hands per hour. They're not doing all that time trying to do the commission. So because of that, casinos get more hands per hour, and therefore that's how they get more profits.
That's a good point. I've never been big on factoring hands per hour in terms of the value of a game, but yeah, it's a good point.
Next question is from Alex83, and he says, do you remember any funny stories inside of the casino?
Yeah, I can't think of any off the top of my head. Can you? Funny stories in a casino.
I have a lot of stories, but I seem to tell the same stories over and over again. Did I tell you about the time I had a player come to my table and he had a dime bag of dirt with him, and he put the dime bag of dirt on his chips like it was a lucky charm. And I'm like, oh, what's that? And he's like, oh, it's my father. I'm like, what? They got him cremated, and then all of the family members took a dime bag of his ashes and then went and experienced Las Vegas. And at the very end of it, they dumped his ashes in the Bellagio fountain. Another funny story I have, I guess this is sort of morbid, not funny. I don't know. A guy was really into playing blackjack, always played at the same table, at the same seat. When he passed away, his wife took his ashes and wanted to pour it on the table. They wouldn't let her. So she poured it on the floor. And then right after she left, they went and vacuumed it up. I don't know what you were expecting to happen, but we have another question from Flipper13. What are your favorite table games in Vegas?
Yeah, I already said earlier in the show, I love Paiga Tiles, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, and Blackjack. Cool. Yep. And you said you like Paiga Tiles and Paiga Poker.
Yeah. And another one is, do you like, this is from Mia, do you like the card game Hearts, and is there a strategy for running the deck?
I love Hearts. Oh, yeah? I miss Hearts. Yeah, when I lived in Baltimore, I played that a lot.
That pretty good.
It's been so long. The only time I play it is on my iPad. Once in a while. So yeah, I have no good advice about Hearts, but I love the game and would love to get 3 other people to play it.
If you teach me, I'll play it.
Okay, we just need 2 more people.
Awesome. Halfway there.
Yep.
Now we are at 4:00 exactly. Do you want to do any more questions, or do you want to say anything, or should we end this live stream?
Yeah, why don't we kind of wrap it up? So yeah, sorry to anyone who asked a question and we didn't answer it. Please save it for next time.
Yes.
Thanks, Heather, for doing all the technical work, and apologies to the audience for being late. I I hope everyone is staying safe and keeping themselves busy. I recommend people get outside and exercise, especially while the weather is good. Just be safe about keeping a safe distance from people. Hi, Pip. And yeah, only go shopping for necessities. And this is a time where we have to kind of think as a herd, and it's your actions don't just affect you, but they can affect everybody. Because if you're out there and shopping for things you don't really need, you might touch, say, a can of tennis balls, get infected, and then who knows how many people get infected from you. Right. So yeah,
and that's the same thing with the mask. The mask isn't protecting you; it's protecting the other people from you.
I do notice that when I get out there, a lot of people, when they're exercising, are wearing a mask, and I think that as long as you're staying away from other people, you don't need to wear a mask. So, there is an intelligent middle ground about how serious to take this, and some people don't take it seriously enough, and some people take it too seriously. So, just find that intelligent middle ground.
Yep, and be safe, please.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show. It was great talking with you.
Well, I should be thanking you. So do you want to put in a plug for your live stream?
Yeah. So if anyone wants to join, vegas-aces.com, or you could go to YouTube, The Vegas Aces. We do tournament live streams, and we also do all sorts of other live streams. Like this Monday, we are doing a futures. What is that? A prediction of the future of Las Vegas. So that's going to be a fun one, and that will be. I'll be joined with Chris from Faces and Aces and Julian from Vegas Confessions. So looking forward to that one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And by the way, there's always discussion about these live streams at my forum at Wizard of Vegas. You can also submit questions there if you wish, because you can't make the live streams live. So.
And the next live stream you're doing is next Thursday, the 23rd at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time?
You got it.
Sweet. Looking forward to it.
Me too. All right. Well,
thank you.
Okay. Well, bye, Heather. Bye, audience. See you next week.
Bye, you guys. Thank you. Good to see you. Bye.
Bye.